Well, hello there, all you active learners and adventurers in the realm of Periscope and much more. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com, and I want to share with you a very special video right now, a video interview that I had with my buddy Randy Gage. He's out in San Diego, I'm here in Orlando, and we did the interview to show what you can do with Periscope, and also we wanted to just kind of open the kimono and say this is what happens, and sometimes there's problems, and you get a chance to see how we work with those, what we do, how we adjust to it and adapt. And matter of fact, we talk about another issue that we had when we interviewed a week before in Washington, D.C. We were both there for a convention for the National Speakers Association, had a few little problems, and we thought, hey, this is good, a wonderful learning experience. And so I want to introduce you to this wonderful tool called Periscope that can give you the ability for instant, real-time communication with customers and with stakeholders, important people all around the world. And you get a chance to see what goes on, not just some really nice and planned, super, everything works great kind of production, but rather, hey, this is the real stuff. And that's what Periscope is about. Once you master that and understand it, you're going to be able to go far. So get your pen and paper out or your note-taking device of choice ready to go and watch what happens with Periscope, the wonders, the benefits of it, how you can use it, the technology that we're using, and just have some fun. Got any comments, questions, criticisms? I want to hear from you. Terry@terrybrock.com is the email. @TerryBrock is my Twitter handle, and that's how you can join me on Periscope. Randy Gage, by the way, @Randy_Gage. You can use that to get in touch with him. And of course, there's a lot of information about Periscope, many different places on the net. So sit back, get your mind open and ready to go. Wow, this is really cool. As you see a real world, no holds barred, unencumbered video of using Periscope for business. I see it, and I'm going to watch live. And now here we go. It should be working in just a moment. Yes, indeed. So, Randy, I'm watching you in Periscope, and you see I'm getting you side by side now. Can you see that?
Is that on yours, or you swiped and shared?
Yeah, this is on my iPhone.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of a delay. Matter of fact, say something. How's your weather out there?
It is getting hot. Summer is here in San Diego.
Okay, so there's about a 5 or 6 second delay. And one of the things I like about what we're doing here, for those of you watching, is now we get a chance to, first of all, go back and talk about one little technical glitch that we had that we want to let you know about so that you don't have this in the future, and also ways that you can really build your audience. Randy, you're doing quite a bit with that. And let's talk about, first of all, the one we did about a week ago when we were both in Washington, D.C. Tell us the situation and what happened.
Yeah, so Terry interviewed me for his blog. We recorded it. You have an option on Periscope where you can say, save the broadcast, and then it'll automatically be saved to your camera roll. And the broadcast went fine, but the replay, yeah, you're going to have to turn down your sound probably.
Yeah, I'm turning the sound down now that you've heard it. You know what, it's there. I've muted my sound.
Yeah, and but the broadband was so tough because we had 1,700 people in the hotel, National Speakers Association convention, all those people on broadband, an older hotel with not the greatest Wi-Fi, in my opinion. So
you're being kind with that description, not the greatest.
Yeah, so we're actually redoing this interview, and Terry's recording it on Zoom so that he's got the video live. Zoom allows you to record from your smartphone.
Yes, indeed. And Randy, this is your first time on Zoom, so you're getting a chance to see this.
Time on Zoom, and I'm probably going to be on it tomorrow with Lynn, the gal who's Lynn Rose, probably with Lynn Rose tomorrow, wants to do an interview on
Excellent.
Scope.
Well, hello, Lynn Rose. Whenever you might be seeing this, either now or sometime in the future, you know, Lynn Rose of now or Lynn Rose of the future, we're saying hello to you.
That's right.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting last week, Randy. Really delighted to talk with you there in Washington, D.C. But something we thought for those that are learning about Periscope, be important to know that be careful when you do it in an environment like that. We were several levels below ground in the basement with 100 bazillion people. I think that's the exact number. 100 bazillion people all sucking on Wi-Fi at the same time. And so the synchronization was way, way off. Now, the audio still came through. If you can kind of Forget the video, listen to the audio. There's really good content there. So we'd encourage you to go take a look at that. I just ran it on my post this last Tuesday on my own blog. So you can listen to that and hear what it's like. But make sure you've got good bandwidth. If at all possible, get Wi-Fi. Randy, you're on Wi-Fi now, aren't you?
No, I'm on Ethernet cable.
Okay. The Ethernet cable's even better. I'm using Wi-Fi only because I wanted to tie in with the information here on my iPhone and be able to do a Periscope. And for whatever reason, Periscope's just not working as well as it should. But
some person asked, yes, it's Zoom.us. It's video conferencing.
Yes,
and of
indeed.
course, my smartphone is on Wi-Fi. My laptop is on the Ethernet cable.
That's a good idea. Go with Ethernet whenever possible. Wi-Fi would be your second choice, and then finally LTE or something like that. But you want to test those things. Just be very careful when you want to do that. But Randy, one of the biggest things we want to find out about is with Periscope, it's really a game changer. I've seen a lot. You know, I worked with Skype as their chief enterprise blogger, so I'm very much into video and using that. But I see what Periscope is doing really has enormous potential. It's kind of like we're just getting our legs on it now, kind of where Facebook was circa 06 or 07. Even before it had really taken off. And so we're learning what it can do, what it can't do. One of the things we're doing here is trying to do something that Periscope usually is not known for. That is to bring in someone remotely so that you could interview another person. And doing it the way we're doing here gives us some real good potential. But I want to ask you about some ways you see that it's working for you, how you're getting followers, and tips and tricks that you would offer to those that are getting into it now.
Yeah, the big thing, like anything else in social media, it's all about content. I'm just testing it out. I told my followers, hey, I'm going to try this thing for 3 or 4 weeks. We'll do a daily scope on prosperity. So 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, I'm doing that. And I told them, we'll check and see how that goes. If you're hearting it up, if you're swiping and sharing it, if you're sharing the links, and I see the watcher counts are going up and the heart counts are going up, we'll probably make it a permanent thing. Tomorrow will actually be the end of the 3rd week doing those daily scopes. We were doing 200 people a day, 400 people a day, 600 people a day, 800 people a day. Now we have more than 2,000 people a day watching the scopes. And it's really fascinating. And the hearts have been crazy. It's like I say, tomorrow will be the last day of the 3rd week, and I'll have 1.5 million hearts. So it's been just crazy with generosity, the people I have follow me. It's been really, really special.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you're doing a lot of things right on that. And matter of fact, we want to show that right now. Those of you that are watching the recording of this on Zoom are able to see what it's like real time. You're seeing on the screen Randy giving the Periscope as he looks into the microphone, into the webcam, and then we also see him over there. You'll see there's a
comments, right? Look at the comments. Look at the hearts. This is why I say I have all these people from NSA and even entertainers and celebrities who I coach with who are saying, what are you doing? How do you get so many hearts on Periscope? And you see, I just go live and they're streaming already before I've even said hello.
Exactly.
I don't even know what to answer them other than to say I've got the best followers on Twitter, the best followers on Periscope, and they're just, because I guess I talk about prosperity, they're prosperity conscious people, and that's how they respond.
Yep, indeed. And matter of fact, you'll notice right here, I just typed in, great to be with you, Randy, and you see that message going through. So it has some amazing capabilities. And you'll see there's a little bit of a lag also. This is part of the technology. Notice there's a lag in the synchronization between what you're seeing on the screen with us talking here with Zoom and what's coming through in Periscope. There's about a 5 to 10 second delay there. But those of you that are watching this, you can see what's happening with the hearts streaming on the right. And to do those, I've been giving Randy some hearts myself. I just tap on the screen, and that gives me a lot of nice little hearts that are there. Plus, you see the comments that are bubbling up in the lower left corner. And Randy, what does that number 118 mean down there in the lower right corner?
That means there's 118 people at that second who are on the broadcast, 117. You'll see it'll it'll plateau at a number and it'll hold there. So you might see like you have 250 people at one moment, and then you think, oh, 250 people watch. But if you do like I do, 20 or 30-minute Skypes, when you finish, you'll find out, no, there was 1,000 people on, 1,200 people, 1,500 people, because people just don't come on, stay on the very beginning and stay to the very end. Because a lot of people are watching at work. They've got to go somewhere. They're in a meeting, whatever. They'll watch part, then they'll come back and they'll watch the replay. Because you'll see a lot of people will be on the live broadcast, and then you'll see them on the replay as well, because they're coming back because they missed part of it. So the accumulative numbers are much higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I've switched back over here so that we can see it. I'm going to put us in, for those watching on the Zoom, we'll be able to see the gallery view, they call it, side by side. And before you can see the possibilities. So I think for those that are thought leaders, coaches, speakers, authors, people that share their ideas, this is a great tool. Using Periscope and using Zoom gives you the ability to create and capture for instantly sending out a message, as well as having something preserved. Zoom is better for preserving it because we're recording the video. And Randy, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think when you see the video of this and how it came out. And then you'll be able to also comment on Periscope, because it gives the real dimension, something I think we have not seen before in social media, and that is the instant live coverage of what's happening, done in a quick way that is much easier than even a Google Hangouts, because we're able to attract attention very rapidly, get it and be able to share it with a number of people worldwide, so that you could literally share with millions, because your only limit is, well, how many people can access Twitter? Well, millions. And Twitter owning Periscope gives it a real boost. At least that's what I'm seeing. Randy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, last I heard was there was more than 8.5 million people who were on Periscope. That was maybe 4 days ago. So at least 9 million, 10 million. It could be 15 million by now, because the adoption rate is really on a curve right now. And I think you're going to see the kind of growth with this, like you saw with Twitter, like you saw with some of the other social media networks, as they took off and went exponential. And this one I expect to do better than all of them, because it's video. And if you read my Risky is the New Safe book, I always said the next big thing to Twitter will be a video version of Twitter.
Yep.
And this is better than a video version of Twitter, because I envisioned it was going to be something where you could do these 90-second clips, maybe a 3-minute video or something. But you could do a 5-hour Periscope and live the whole time. And they really have handled the broadband issues. We're doing now, from what I'm doing, so I've got these people I've seen at least 40 different countries around the world. And I'm doing it from a smartphone, which I bought at the Apple store for, what do they go for, $500 or something right now?
Mm-hmm.
That takes the place of a $400,000 satellite truck that Eyewitness News invests in, so they can broadcast from locations when there's a traffic accident or a gunshot or something and they want to go broadcast live. They're sending a crew and $500,000 worth of equipment to do what I'm doing with my iPhone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the real advantage is with Periscope, you're really tapping into that instant live, here's what's going on, and you're right here with us kind of environment. And I think that raises a lot of wonderful opportunities and a few cautions as well. The wonderful opportunities are when you're launching a product, when you're at an event, or you're with somebody. Hey, you just met this wonderful person and you want to talk with them. You could interview them in person right there on Periscope. When you want to do it remotely, like we're doing now, we bring in an extra tool like Zoom. You could do it with Skype or Hangouts or other tools that are available. This has some real good options there. But also, I think there could be some cautions, given that it's live and given that many of us operate out of our homes. Got to be a little bit careful. Just be very careful of what you're doing. Be conscious of what's going on. There are things you do in your home you would not want the world always to see. And so just be aware of that. We can do it. It makes it easier, more convenient, but requires a little bit of extra precaution as well.
Yeah, practical application for that. When you go to broadcast live, it's going to have a button on the left, which is the location, the GPS thing. It's really, really accurate. So if you do that from home, when I do it from home, I turn it off. Why do I turn it off? Because I'm a public person. I've had about 7 stalkers over the last 5 years, 3 of which who have turned up in public places following me around, one of which followed me literally all over the world to 5 or 6 different countries, and have showed up at my door, convinced the security downstairs that their long-lost friend, and the security is knocking on my door saying, oh, your wife is here or your girlfriend is here. And I'm like, no, time out. So if you're doing a remote from some beach in Hawaii or some resort somewhere, hey, you probably want to turn it on. But if you're a single woman in a hotel, maybe you wouldn't want it on. So just think about it. Just be mindful of, when you have it on and when you don't.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Literally, the GPS is so good, it will say 327 Main Street, Madison, Wisconsin, 53701 or whatever. It's that good.
Yeah, that's good for knowing where you are, but when you don't want everyone to know, and most of the people, 99.9999999% are going to be fine. It's that few people that are out there that you want to be careful of. It's the same thing we've been talking about for years. If you're a sole proprietor and you're operating from home, be careful about giving your home address out there on the website or publishing that, because there are crazies that will hunt it down and then try to find you. Now, even more important, because they know you are there right now at this instant. You're broadcasting from there. So be careful with that. I think what you do is a good idea, Randy. Where I am in a little bit different situation. We have a little different area with security and the guards that we have here. It's a little different, and we're in more of a public place. But I think that each person needs to consider that, and erring on the side of saying, no, I'm not going to let everybody know where I am at this instant is a much better approach.
Amen.
So I think there's a lot of good things for that. Well, Randy, we're seeing a lot of capabilities with Periscope. I'm getting more excited all the time. I love watching your programs. And those of you that might be picking this up just for whatever reason, you definitely want to get under Randy's tutelage, find out what he's doing. He's got a lot of good information. And to find that, just use his Twitter handle at Randy_Gage. Randy, that's the correct one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at Randy_Gage. And then you can follow him on Twitter and on Periscope. There's no charge, but you get a chance to see this, and it's a great way to check it out. And my Twitter handle is at Terry Brock. That's Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, BROCK. So at Terry Brock, and you can follow me that way as well. Randy, any final words or advice or ideas before we let you go so you can get back to all the things you've got going on today?
Well, yeah, a couple of things I think are important to talk about. One is, how do you get more followers? How do you monetize this? How do you work the interaction? What do you do with trolls, right? I blocked someone as we began the broadcast. There was some guy making obnoxious little, and I don't know. I've only blocked 4 people. I have thousands of people following me. I've got 1.5 million hearts, and I've only blocked 4 people, right? And 2 of them were on other broadcasts. In other words, I was watching Lynn Rose, one of her scopes, and she said, oh, I was just watching Randy Gage's Periscope, and he's so good on this and whatever. And then some guy types in, he stole $5,000 from me. So I just pulled up his thing and I blocked him. I mean, because I haven't ever stole $5,000 from anybody. So I know obviously he's a troll. I was watching a Periscope of Lisa Jimenez, and he was making very lewd comments about her, so I blocked him. And then I've had 2 people, one today, who, again, just because people swipe and share. My followers are really good with that. They swipe and share. So you get people on the broadcast that aren't necessarily in your database, in your tribe. They don't know who you are. Every day I'll do one, and then somebody will come on and say, I love this content. Who are you? Or are you Bruce Willis? Or are you Vin Diesel? Or because somebody shared it and they clicked it and they're like, who are you? Or what is this about? So one of the things to do, let's say you're doing a 10-minute broadcast or a 20-minute broadcast. It's really good halfway through to kind of summarize that. Hey, and for you guys who just joined, my name's Randy Gage. I do a prosperity scope weekdays every day, Monday through Friday. Or, hey, I'm Terry Brock. I scope on how you use technology to grow your business. And if you see the number down on the right-hand screen, if you tap that, it'll pull up my profile and you can follow me. So that's a way to get followers. Other ways to get followers is if you're on other people's scopes and you're participating and you're making comments and you're supporting them. You know, when you see good scopes, people that you like, they're going to say, oh, thanks for the comment. They'll talk, and you'll see somebody saying, no, yeah, Bruce Willis, yes. Vin Diesel, no.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Should I talk deeper so I sound more like Ben?
You'd have to do a little bit more than that.
And you'll see, you'll get people following you on that, just from shout outs on that, because they see you bring value to a community. Other things, set up your bio, right? If I'm going to see, you look in the comments, you're going to see a lot of eggs. Well, don't be the egg man. Unless you're one of the Beatles, that's not a good thing, right? Egg means you haven't put a picture on your profile. So people say, well, who's this person? They don't even know how to put a picture on their profile. Yes, I'm just keeping it real. Oh, he's saying he's keeping it real because I'm not Vin Diesel. So put your picture up there. Change your bio. If you have one for Twitter, you might want to twist it or tweak it on Periscope and talk about what you scope about. So my bio says daily scopes on prosperity. If you're a dog trainer, say every Friday I do a weekly scope on how to housebreak your dog. Or every Tuesday and Thursday I do a prosperity a scope on a Periscope on investing in real estate. So then people know when they look at your profile, is this somebody that I'm going to want to follow their scopes? So make your bio appropriate. In terms of the trolls, like I say, if you get somebody crazy, it's simple, just pull and block. I don't engage them. I don't go crazy with them. I'm not the jackass whisperer. I don't like to feed the trolls, because when you feed the trolls, it just makes them more hungry. You will attract a community who are in sync with what you want to Periscope about, and you build that community, and you'll get like-minded people. And then when, like I say, it gets shared and somebody else comes in, just block them. People always ask me, how do you monetize this? I know your audience, the people who are going to be watching this on Zoom, a lot of authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, those kind of people. I love this platform, and why I'm investing, or I'm going all in with it so much, is I've got a book coming out, January 16th, 2016. I'm with Periscope, an imprint of Random House, the biggest publisher in the world, the best New York publisher there is. They gave me a big advance, and they did that because they want me to support my book, right? And I want to support my book. I write the book because I believe I have something to say. It's called Mad Genius. It's a manifesto for entrepreneurs. I believe it's the best work I've done up to this point in my life, right? So on January 16th, 2016, I want to be able to do a Periscope that morning and say, hey, gang, want to let you know the book is out today. Jump on BNN, jump on Amazon, go to CEO Read, go to your local bookstore and pick it up. And I want to be able to sell 20,000 to 40,000 copies on that day and make it an instant bestseller. And I believe I'll be able to do that. If I look at it's called Mad Genius, Julie. If I look at the way the scope is growing and the number of people and the number of shares, I think by January, again, I'm testing it. I'm going to see, this is the third week, fourth, fifth week, I'll make a decision if I'm going to keep doing daily scopes, or I'm going to go to weekly ones, or twice a week, or whatever. It's a new medium. We're going to test it and see how it works.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, Randy. I think what we're doing is we're testing to find out what works. And that's an important message for those that are thinking about doing this, that it's not always going to be right from the beginning. Hey, you get into it, you make mistakes. And like last week when we made, not a mistake, but we learned something, hey, about the bandwidth. So I put an exclamation mark behind what you're saying.
Yeah, and Pegeen, I noticed, is on the scope, and she's asking us in Spanish. I'm pretty sure, Pegeen, we've sold already Chinese, Czech, Slovak, Thai, a bunch of languages. I'm pretty sure Spanish is one of them, but if not, it will be by January, I'm sure. I've got 9 languages already.
And you could do it in Spanish yourself for the audio version, Randy.
Well, that may happen. I'm working on that.
Yeah, but good for you.
how that just worked. Pagine asked me that question, and I'm able to respond to that. Here's Kate Holgate. You know Kate probably, maybe.
Yes,
I think.
wonderful. Hi, Kate.
Yeah. So she just wrote she pre-ordered Mad Genius today. Why? Because I mentioned it on my scope this morning. Somebody asked me, and I said, yeah, it's already on Amazon. Because somebody sent me Joe Calloway emailed me last week and said, wow, how did I miss you? I went on Amazon and they said I could pre-order your new book. How did I miss that? I didn't even know it was on Amazon already, right? Because it's not coming out to January. But obviously Random House is doing a good job and they're getting it up and they're taking advance orders. But look at this interaction that we're able to have. That's what I can't get in a YouTube video. This is what I can't get in a Google Hangout. Because I can get literally 2,000, and I guarantee you, if we come back and look at this in a month, I might be having 5,000 people a day on this broadcast and have that kind of interaction. And you know, one of the things, give you an example, I don't know if you saw my scope this morning.
Yes.
Okay, so you know, I'm doing Kids Week next week.
Yeah, we saw that.
On my prosperity scope, because I have a lot of people who have their, and Kate is saying hello to you, by the way, a lot of people who are watch it with their kids and their families. And what happens is, Andrew's asking how many people make the broadcast full. It's usually about 150 to 200. Those first 150 to 200 are able to do comments. After that, the people who come on are going to get broadcast full, and they can't comment. And the reason for that, that will never change according to Saka, because otherwise it would be unmanageable. Because if you let 500 people comment or more, they would just be streaming up so fast the human brain could not even read them or respond to them. So the idea is, what this does, again, this is another one of these unique Periscope things. It creates this sense of urgency because people want to be able to comment. And so they know when that alert comes in, if it's a scope like mine, which gets full every day within 45 seconds, they know as soon as they get that alert on their phone, Randy Gage is broadcasting, they got to click right now or they're not going to get in to be able to comment. So you don't see that on YouTube. You don't get that on a Facebook post. You don't get that on any other kind of social media and that's why I think Periscope is going to be such a big thing. Because of this live nature, because of the, there's a plane landing. My view here is I watch the plane lands. Well, if that plane had smoke going from the wing, I would say, oh my goodness, there's a plane right there. Let me turn the phone around. I would turn that around. This would go viral and it would have 86 million views in 24 hours, right?
Yep, exactly.
That's the nature of Periscope, that it catches. As a matter of fact, I was just watching it. The other day, it was the fire on the pool deck of the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. That was trending on Periscope, and I mean, millions of people were watching that real time. Just like Twitter has become a de facto news source for a lot of people like me. I get my news from Twitter for the most part. Now Periscope is doing the video version of the networks. And
yeah, Randy, it seems like what that's doing is it's a real life changer for our society, that now things are different, that what you do can be broadcast live. People are watching it from around the world. And I think that has a lot to say for government and authority as well. They were able to do certain activities in the past and they went undiscovered. Now we're able to see going, hey, look what's happening right now. And all it takes is someone holding up their phone and being able to view that with their mobile phone.
And you will see this. What you've seen now is you've seen these examples of police brutality, even murder that were captured on somebody's cell phone, which go viral after the fact. With Periscope, you're going to see that kind of thing instant live, where it'll be and then you'll see CNN and Fox News will actually be cutting live to somebody's Periscope feed because that cell phone is on the scene, and it'll be whether it's ISIS attacking someplace in Afghanistan or something. If there's somebody there with a smartphone and they put it on Periscope, you'll see the broadcast networks will be feeding into that. Now that's just an example of how it works, but of course for those of us who are authors, speakers, whatever, it just gives us so many more options because one of the things I did, my followers know, is I dropped the mic. I retired from professional speaking a month ago. And I said, I'm going to use my online learning platform. I'm going to use Periscope. I'm going to write more books. I'm going to create more digital products. And I'm going to not get on airplanes all the time. I'm a platinum lifetime medallion with Delta. I'm a platinum with American. I've got gazillions of miles with United. And I can't even tell you how many other little podunk airlines here and there that I've flown over the years, millions and millions and millions of miles. The human body isn't made for that.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I look at the future of what I think thought leaders will be and do and how they will connect with their tribe. And I see it going more and more on, I mean, Paulo Coelho, right? He's not doing seminars. He's not traveling around doing workshops yet. He's going to put out a book and it's going to sell 20 million copies, right? He's built his tribe. And how does he connect with them? He's brilliant at social media. If you look at The Rock, what he's doing in the entertainment space, Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, he's brilliant on social media. I follow him on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He's just a case study of how to connect with your tribe. That's right. No more seminars. You better pay attention. I've been saying this for a month. And people say, well, like, you know, I was at the NSA convention last week and people kept saying, aren't you going to miss doing seminars? Aren't you going to miss the platform? The truth is, I do a keynote seminar every morning right now, and I have 2,000 people at my seminar every morning. And a month from now, I might be doing a keynote for 5,000 people every morning, right? But I'm doing it from home in my underwear if I want and not getting on an airplane. And that's the difference.
I like that. It's wherever you want to be, so that if you say, hey, I really want to go to Hawaii for a week, or I want to go here for a week, Detroit for a week, the vacation capital of America, Detroit. But you could go there, enjoy and relax. And the nice thing about the technology, it really forms to make your life better. And it helps you to do what you want, where you want, and really when you want.
Yeah, and it's just with the interaction, it's something that it's real time. Like Facebook, people can put comments. I love blogs. I'm a big blogger. I've got a very successful blogs. So people are commenting on this stuff, and I'm telling. Well, my seminars are online. Really, I've got an online learning platform right now, a leadership academy, and I'll do some more stuff specifically for entrepreneurs. So I just and you know me, Terry's known me for more than 20 years. He remembers back in the days when he'd say, Randy, please get an email account. It's this little thing, and I'm like, I don't need one of those.
That's right. I remember. I wish I could take you back now in that time machine to talk to yourself back then, those 20, 30 years ago or so. Just say, Randy, talk to Randy.
But I wouldn't change anything. I love the path I took on. It worked beautifully for me. Because I don't get enamored with technology. You're enamored with technology, right? Everywhere you go, you wear your special vest, which has 15 pockets that hold all your 6 different phones and microphones and Zoom.
Actually 26 pockets, yeah. But, you know, that's that techie nerdy of me. But I tend to be much more pragmatic. So it's like, okay, let's look at what works. If I can have a tool, a gizmo, that helps me to serve customers better and helps me to get a job done that everyone else is going, gee, I wish I would have had a woogie woogie. I go, I happen to have a woogie woogie right here with me in this pocket.
Right, but you are enamored with technology. I'm not enamored with technology. I have enough trouble trying to program my DVR. So what I have done, though,
is using those.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I have a beautiful Comcast thing, can record 6 shows at the same time. And if I ever have to record 6 shows at the same time, somebody killed me, because there isn't 6 good shows on television at the same time.
That's right.
But what I am, even though I'm not I'm not enamored with technology, I'm enamored with how technology can allow me to connect with and communicate with my tribe easier, better, quicker, faster, smarter, safer, better, any of those things. And the question always comes up, the monetizing thing, and I never see the worry about that. It's just like you see when people were saying, yeah, I ordered your book this morning. That's because it came up in the scope and somebody kept saying, when is your next book out? And I said, oh, it's already on Amazon. And I could track anything like that. Last week I talked about a prosperity manifestation map and how I use one, and I have it on my site. And I said, if you want, you can get it at randygage.com, or else just go to an art supply store and buy a poster board and scissors and glue and blah, blah, blah. We sold 18 that day just by me putting that off. Because what I've found is if you put out great content and you help people solve their problems, you give them value. And you know me, I always teach. The only way you make money is solve problems and add value. So what Periscope allows us to do is, whether speaker, coach, consultant, anyone like that, is if we solve problems and add value, people will spend money with you. They will say, if he gives me all this for free, imagine if I bought his $97 audio program. Or imagine if I bought his $297 video program. Or, you know, I've got a $20,000 a year coaching program. I put that up on my website and said, here's the deal. I'm not doing a big sales pitch. If you know this is right for you, you figured it out 20 paragraphs ago. I wrote a long sales copy letter and just said, here's what it's going to be. So within 30 hours, I had 26 people who signed up to say, yes, I will spend $20,000. I want to join your mastermind council. Within 30 hours, 26 people. Now, understand, 5 or 6 of them are people known to me. I know them. They've been consulting clients, colleagues, friends, and they just said, hey, dude, if you're doing this, I'm in, right? But there were 21 that I didn't know. They didn't know me. We don't have an intimate relationship or whatever. They bought just based on what they've seen, my Facebook, my Twitter, my books, my audios, my video, and say, wow, if I got all this value out of a $20 book, imagine if I paid 20 grand and I had a call with him every month, and twice a year I went to a retreat and I spent 2 or 3 days with him masterminding and brainstorming specifically for my business. So they literally took out a credit card and said, I'm in for $20,000. So the monetizing thing, because that's the question I get most from speakers, authors, everybody who's saying, well, I know you're going crazy on this Periscope thing, but how are you going to monetize it? I don't get how you're going to monetize it. And that's because they're set in the mindset of how they monetize now, which is they sell their keynote speech. And once they finish that, they got to find another audience to sell the next keynote speech to. And I'm just looking at, okay, how do I get digital? How do I sell pixels? Anything I can do to create a product made out of pixels means I can build solid, passive, residual income, which allows me to live the kind of lifestyle I want at this point in my, at this point in my life, I don't need the money, right? I've got the money thing out of the way. I don't do what I do for ego. My ego's already big enough. It doesn't need to get any better. I do what I do because I want to make a difference. And so I'm looking at how can I make a difference with my people? And I say, wow, you're telling me I can wake up every morning, brush my teeth, make my bed, go to the gym, do my cardio, put up a note on Facebook and Twitter and say, hey, I'm going to do the prosperity scope in about 15 minutes, go mix up my protein shake, drink my shake, sit down at my desk, turn on my smartphone, and boom, I got 2,000 people that I can connect with and share thoughts and interact and get their comments and their questions. Wow.
Yeah, I think, Randy, what you're doing there is you're building up that base of people who are mad, raging fans, and they're geniuses too. So this is something that we need to look at as thought leaders, as coaches, authors, and those that are in that environment and in other areas too. You want to be able to establish a lot of goodwill so that people go, hey, I know that person. I really know them well. I like them also, and I trust them. As you go up that scale of the know, like, and trust, then you're able to later on go to the engage exchange area where they say, fine, here are some coins. I am glad to give you some coins so that I can make my life better, knowing that if I give you this many coins, I'm going to get that many. Notice, for those of you watching Zoom, my arms are off the screen, off the screen there, with all kinds of abundance that are there. Really, it ties in, Randy, with what you've taught us so well for so many years about prosperity and abundance. Rather than a lack, let's figure out ways to make more.
Right? You know Linda Miles?
Yes.
Yeah, a long-time NSA member, brilliant consultant. I remember sitting with her at a convention. We were just chatting, and she said, Randy, you will always make money because you have BLT. And I was like, what? Okay, I give. What is BLT, Linda?
Not bacon, lettuce, and tomato, I'm thinking.
Yeah. She says, your people believe you, they like you, and they trust you. And when people believe you, like you, and trust you, they buy from you. And I think, what better platform than Periscope? If you're a thought leader, if you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you're anyway, and we're talking about that, but understand, you could be, if you were a dog walker or a dog sitter, and you started doing a Periscope every week on how to housebreak puppies and how to protect your furniture from young dogs and how much time you should exercise your dog or whatever, you would become, and you do your location thing, and so people see that in Detroit there's somebody broadcasting, and they see, and then every Friday there you are talking about dog obedience tips and dog training tips. Anybody who wanted a dog walker, dog sitter, whatever would say, that's the lady I need to get because she's the expert. If you were a real estate broker and you start doing a scope every Monday, you say, hey, I'm going to talk about the market in Seattle. Hey, here's what I see happening in the downtown, in the office market. This much a square foot. Last year it was going for this much. Here's the trend I see, and the such and such tower just signed a deal for 2 million square feet of office space. They just rented to Intel. The market is really hot here in terms of homes and buying homes and flipping. The neighborhood I think is really sexy right now is such and such a neighborhood. You start doing that every week, and all of a sudden, this is what Gary Vaynerchuk did with Wine Library TV on YouTube. I believe people are going to be able to do this on Periscope now. And they will build their credibility. They will build their expertise. They will create the condition of BLT, where people believe them, like them, and trust them. And so if you did that real estate thing every week, anybody who was going to buy or sell a property, they'd say, well, I need to get that agent because he's the expert.
Yeah, they'll know you. And I think the beauty of Periscope also is you go back to what you talked about with a realtor. That realtor can each week be in a different part of town. Say, now this week we're in the north side of town and look at the new developments here. Matter of fact, I'm talking to the senior contractor with this new shopping center that's going in and the new school that's going in. And the next week you're in the south part of town talking about something new. You give value, people like that, and just saying, by the way, I'm Joe Schmo, the realtor here. So when you're getting ready to move to East Wakahuga, this is the place we can help you on it.
Absolutely, and you can do it in any area, and that's why I think for business people, for entrepreneurs of any kind, I think restaurants, nightclubs, every kind of beauty salons, I've got a day spa. I've got an appointment in like an hour at a day spa, right? If they're doing a thing once a week just on beauty tips and skincare tips and whatever, you're going to build a following, and you can do that and this is the beauty of the internet. It allows us to build in a local area, in a regional area, or an international area. Because based on the scope of the content you provide will determine, like me, I'm building my tribe around the world. You can see every morning when I have my cast, there will be at least 60 different countries on there. Because my message is international, it's not geographical, it's not local. Okay, Chris Lianos is just telling me hi from Sydney, Australia. Okay, so here I am in San Diego, you're in Orlando, Florida, and I'm chatting with Chris Lianos in Sydney, Australia. Yeah. This is what it allows us to do. So you can create your expertise in an area, in a region, or international.
Yeah, we've made the world a whole lot smarter, and now we're able to deliver value inexpensively. We're able to do it rapidly. We're able to do it in a way that people like, and that generates more money. That is how we monetize it.
Yeah, so the monetization thing, guys, forget about it. It's the least of your worries. Add value, solve problems. People will gratefully, lovingly, joyfully crawl naked over broken glass and throw money at you.
Yep, that's the way it works. So, Randy, this makes sense. And those of you that are watching this, go back over this. Often when we hear new material, it doesn't always stick the first time. Usually several exposures are important. The nice thing about this is we're going to make this available with video and with audio, thanks to Zoom. Zoom does that for us very easily. So leverage that technology and see what it is. Look into Periscope. Start learning from a variety of people that are there. Definitely tie into Randy. Now, Randy, I've noticed that usually your Periscope, your scopes are out there around 11 a.m. Eastern time. Is that correct?
I've been usually it's about 10 to 11 Eastern time, which is about when I have done my cardio, done my self-development time, drinking my protein shake, and I'm ready to do the break. I do the scope. I watch the replay for all the questions and things that I mix, and then I go and do my second workout. So that's usually if I'm in the left coast. Now, if I'm in the right coast, then it's a later time because I'm getting up at a later time. So it's all, and you see, I did scopes from Moscow. I did them from DC, wherever. So it depends where I am in the world. But in terms of what's the best time to do your scopes, it's going to be on what kind of following you have. Now, I have a really international following. So right now, you see, like if I ask people, I bet I would get a lot of Germany, Ireland, UK, whatever, North America going east. Even though I've got Chris Lianos and some people in Australia, I don't think as many because there'll be parts of the world where those people are asleep right now.
Yeah, right now it's, let's see, it'd be 7 in the morning, a little after 7 in Australia as we're recording this now, and yet it would be 12, a little after 12 midnight over in the UK.
Well, yeah, actually in the first part it's 10 p.m. in the UK right now because they're telling me on the screen. But if now, like my people in Russia and Ukraine are probably asleep because it's 3 or 4 hours later there.
Yep, you're right.
If you're a local one, pick a time that's local that all the local people run. If you're international, say, well, where is most of my target market? Are they going to be awake at that time? Or you just count on the replay line where, for me, I get 50% of my hearts of the people tapping the screen come on the replays because, again, I have a lot of people in Asia and Australia and places like that, and a lot of them are still asleep when I do the scope live. So they wake up the next day, they get it, and they're tapping the screens.
Yeah, and I think you raise a very good point there. And for those of you watching this that are thinking how I can do this myself, what can I do to put it together? What you'll be able to do is think about the ability to record it and make that available, put it up there on YouTube or on your channel, because many, many people will be able to get it later. I mean, right now, there are people that are out, here's a concept, doing business. They're actually meeting with clients and people that are paying the money. They can't be here, but they will be able to watch it later because it's recorded. And they can go back and also, by the way, you can listen to it on YouTube at a faster speed so that you listen to a 60-minute program in 30 minutes by using the little gear and changing it to 2x speed. So things like that can help you enormously on that. So I think, Randy, very good point about being able to do it live as well as have it recorded.
Yeah, and the other thing I think that makes the thing is the fact that it disappears within 24 hours. People ask me all the time, why don't you record these? Why don't you put them up in the site? And I don't know. There may come in. I'm not saying no. I don't say never because I don't think we know the rules for Periscope. Like if somebody tells you they're a Periscope expert right now, I would run away from them because I don't think there are any experts on Periscope because we don't know. The platform is too new. We haven't seen how it's going to evolve. But I can tell you, I get about 40% of my viewers and hearts and follows and everything. Right before I go to bed, I put up a post on Twitter that says, ICYMI, which of course means in case you missed it. So I put, ICYMI, whatever, today's prosperity scope on blank, whatever the topic was, and the title. Or I'll put, watch this, but only 8 hours left before this expires. And people are like, oh, I need to go see this before it expires. Whereas, and I've been kind of conducting a poll with my YouTube channel and my Periscope channel and my blog, and I've been asking people, how do you want to see me, how, whatever. And it's funny, one of the comments I've seen a lot like on the YouTube channel, they say, well, I like this because I can come anytime and it's always here and I can come back. But when I get your Periscope thing, I have to drop what I'm doing right now and go watch it because I know that it's going to go away. Or I'll see that it only has a few hours left and I have to go watch it. Well, there's something to be said for that. I think you definitely, yeah, Isa is commenting on that. Pegeen is commenting on it. Raymond is 24 hours before they expire. And there's a sense of urgency there. It does make a difference that, again, you don't see on those other platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's good to look at that and experiment because I like the idea, for me, just personally, I like the idea of something recorded because, hey, like last week, you and I were at the National Speakers Association event in Washington. We were busy. Suppose someone put out a scope and we thought we really wanted to hear that, but we couldn't. I mean, we're going from early morning till very late at night. It'd be nice to have it available there. So I think you might be able to experiment with both. Try some where it expires in 24 hours and let it go. They got the urgency of it. There's an advantage to that. But then also, on the other hand, it's an advantage to be able to say, I couldn't do it then, but I'm going to store them up and I'm going to do a binge listen on several different scopes on a 3-day long weekend.
Yeah, it's a great platform. It's an exciting platform. There's no set rules. We don't know where it's going to go, but I do believe it's the most important social media platform of our lifetime thus far for everybody watching this, because Facebook has been huge, Twitter has been huge, YouTube has probably had the biggest impact of anything. We don't know. Periscope may not survive as the ultimate one. Google might buy Meerkat tomorrow, or somebody else might buy Meerkat tomorrow, or somebody else may create a different video broadcasting platform that, just like VHS and Beta fought it out, and cassette tapes and 8-track tapes fought it out, and this kind of TV fought out with that kind of TV. We don't know. But right now, if you're a betting person, Periscope is the one to bet on. And I saw Howard Stern, the king of all media, singing the praises of it yesterday, they were telling me. So I have to, and I just look at the people using it and seeing the kind of growth it's getting. And again, with the immediacy, video instead of text, the interaction, the hearts, the things like that, I think this could be the most important social media platform of our generation. This or whatever it morphs into, right? It may be Periscope, it may not. But this idea of live broadcasting from a smartphone with interaction with people, because let's be serious, how much longer is it going to be before Square or Stripe or somebody, including Twitter themselves or Apple themselves or whoever, comes up with a little add-on thing that is a buy button? So when I say, yes, and my new book is coming out, if you're interested, just tap that book cover that comes up on the screen right now, and it's instantly on your Google Pay, and put your thumbprint on the phone or whatever, and it's shipped to you.
Yep.
What'll that be? If it takes 6 months, I'll be amazed. If it takes a year, I will be dumbfounded. But it won't take more than a year. I can guarantee you that. They will, just as you see with Instagram and Pinterest now allowing slides to go into buy buttons where people can see something they like and click. You're going to see that on Periscope, right? So this, like I say, if you ask me, okay, what's the most important social media platform of our generation? What's the biggest technological advance for speakers, authors, thought leaders right now? If I'm betting, I'm saying Periscope, Periscope, Periscope.
Yep, exactly. And we can say right now, that's what it is. Periscope is there. But then, like you mentioned, Google or Facebook, what if they, or Apple, decided, hey, we're going to buy Meerkat and we're going to compete and go for it? Well, that could happen. If it does, the skills that you'll acquire using Periscope will be transferable over to Meerkat or anything else that uses this same type of format. So what you're doing is you're investing in yourself. by investing not even money, but some time and energy, which is the most important. Invest that time, invest the energy, learn about the nuances of it, the physical reality of it, of don't do this, do that. Like Randy, you and I learned last week, being very careful to do it in a hotel, in an environment where there's a lot of people. Also learning what to do, how to recognize people, how to make people feel appreciated. And if Meerkat comes up with something like their hearts or something comparable, you'll be familiar with it. So I think there's very little, if any, downside in investing some time in Periscope, learning how to use it, getting the scopes going, as we call them, making sure you've got those on a regular basis. And so, Randy, for those that are watching this and they haven't picked it up already, what's the best way for them to find out about you, stay in touch, and be involved in the scopes that you're doing?
Just go to, it's Randy Gage, Randy_Gage. I'm all over social media. You can't miss me. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google Plus, anywhere you're going to find me. And I do a day, at this point at least, I'm doing a daily scope on prosperity, Monday through Friday. And then usually on the weekends and now and then I'll do like a prosperity town hall where I just take questions from people and answer their questions.
Excellent. Well, Randy, we appreciate you joining us today. This is great doing it. I'm Terry Brock at terrybrock.com and really looking forward to hearing from you. Drop us a note, send us some notes there on Twitter, on Facebook. We're all over the place and looking forward to hearing from you in many ways. Randy, thanks again for being with us today and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.
Hey, thanks, Terry. Great to be on with you.